Thursday, NFL hit with some absolutely breaking news. Christian McCaffrey headed to the 49ers for a second, third, fourth, and fifth. Christian McCaffrey under a Kyle Shanahan offense is going to be absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, oh my God. On a fantasy value, obviously I thought of how McCaffrey would benefit, but I also thought of a guy named Deebo Samuel. So when looking at the positive and the negative effects of McCaffrey coming to San Francisco on Deebo, you got to look at Jimmy Gorropolo. There's some encouraging stats, to say the least, but I don't know how encouraging these will be afterwards. Now, Jimmy Gorropolo coming into this season checks down the ball 17th most in the NFL with a 5.9% check down rate. And the reason this matters is because obviously Christian McCaffrey is the best receiving back in the NFL, and the most important thing for a fantasy wide receiver is targets. So if Christian McCaffrey is taking away from Deebo's targets in a huge way when it comes to checkdowns, that's going to have a big effect on him. Inevitably, Christian McCaffrey will take away from Deebo more than Jeff Wilson takes away from Deebo or Elijah Mitchell. Christian McCaffrey has 34 receptions this year with the abysmal quarterbacks in Carolina. So Kyle Shanahan's offense is based on getting the ball in playmakers' hands. That's why you see Deebo running the ball 5, 7, 8 times a game. And with Christian McCaffrey, I will anticipate Deebo not getting nearly the amount of carries he was getting. I mean, this year his carries have decreased a lot from last year, and that is bound to change even more. I mean, they now have one of the best running backs in the NFL. Short pass volume. A lot of that will be transferred over to Christian McCaffrey. A lot of the slants and digs and little inside routes that Deebo runs will turn into Christian McCaffrey checkdowns and routes. Inevitably, some of them will. Now, Deebo Samuel is still Deebo Samuel, and he will be involved in this offense still, obviously, in a big way. Kyle Shanahan will do a lot to still get the ball in his hands because that's what they've been doing for the past 3 years, and they're not just going to go away from that in the snap of fingers. The decrease in his volume is almost inevitable when you have a guy like Christian McCaffrey coming in. Now, the positives to this trade for Deebo Samuel comes when it comes to defenses. Teams game plan towards Deebo every single game, obviously. I mean, there's double coverage, there's different schemes that defenses try to use to cover Deebo and focus in on him because he is the best 49ers playmaker by a mile. Yes, there's George Kittle, but on just a pass catching standpoint and on electricity of like the player and energy, like it's Deebo Samuel, okay? Teams plan to Deebo Samuel. Yes, teams will still go out of their way to make sure they try to hold Deebo in check. When defenses are playing the 49ers, I mean, yeah, Jeff Wilson is an average running back that teams will have normal game plans for. Same with Elijah Mitchell. I mean, he was good. But you insert Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey can single-handedly beat you. There's been times where Christian McCaffrey has like a 70% reception share in games. And inevitably, the insert of Christian McCaffrey will result in game planning shifting towards Christian McCaffrey and away from Deebo Samuel, resulting in less double coverage from Deebo Samuel and less defensive focus on Deebo Samuel, which may result in more volume and targets. The highest amount of carries that a 49ers running back has had this year is Jeff Wilson with 18. Expect that to go up. Christian McCaffrey has already had a 25 carry game this year, and that number is going to stay the same, or maybe he will have higher carry games with the 49ers. But if you insert Christian McCaffrey instead of Jeff Wilson, then the volume will go up for Christian McCaffrey, and there will be more running plays than there was in the previous 49ers offense. The only thing I've listed so far in this video that doesn't have to do with Brandon Ayuk is the whole double coverage thing and planning on him. So everything else about this video stands for Brandon Ayuk, absolutely. So I think the negatives definitely outweigh the positives for Deebo in this trade. There's going to be less volume for him and less opportunity for him, but defenses will definitely have to focus on him a little less due to Christian McCaffrey and how electric he is. So Deebo will have less double coverage and less focus on him, but Christian McCaffrey will have a lot more volume in this offense. On a non-fantasy standpoint, this trade was definitely good for the 49ers. You know, just a couple years ago, they were in the Super Bowl. Same quarterback, same tight end, same receivers, same O-line, same coaching staff. Defenses stayed relatively similar with, you know, still one of the best in the league. And now you insert Christian McCaffrey, one of the best running backs in the NFL. I mean, golly, this team has a chance to win it all this year. So less runs for Deebo Samuel, more runs for Christian McCaffrey, and less passing attempts from Jimmy Gorropolo. If you get a good deal for Deebo, take it, but he's still going to be a wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2 for the rest of the year. I mean, he's Deebo Samuel. He's still going to get the volume. He's Jimmy's guy. But his value will definitely take a hit, and if there's league mates in your league that don't realize that, then you should pull the trigger and try to get a better wide receiver 1 or something that meets his value or exceeds his value.